It was a chilly night, and I stood frozen before the mirror, terrified. What stared back at me wasn't my reflection, but a strange, terrifying figure. My own image, lost forever. My once promising life had taken a dark turn, all because of the Kayanmata beads I wore around my waist. Now, as I coughed blood and my soul felt drained, I was left wondering, was it too late to undo this haunting curse? My story begins like any other girl who left the village in search of a better life in the city. I was young, beautiful, and full of hope. My parents believed I was living the dream, working at a big bank and sending money back home to support them. They were so proud of me, but they didn't know the truth. I wasn't working in a bank. I had turned to prostitution to survive and to keep the money flowing. It started small. During my days as a university student, I came from a poor background and my parents couldn't afford my fees or rent. I felt cornered. The flashy lifestyles of some girls on campus made me curious. I saw how they got cars, clothes, and gifts from men, and the temptation was overwhelming. At first, I started by casually dating men for money, telling myself it wasn't prostitution, it was just survival. But as the time went on, I got put deeper into the world of transactional love, where affection meant nothing and money meant everything. Soon, I had become a full-time prostitute. My beauty should have been my biggest asset, but for some reason it wasn't. Other girls, less attractive than I was, were getting clients left and right, while I struggled to make a living. I remember feeling frustrated. How could I be this beautiful, yet men weren't flocking to me? Some nights, I had to do embarrassing promos, lowering my rates, offering deals just to get anyone. At times, I would have to swallow my pride and call up old clients whom I've fought with, apologizing and begging for business. It was humiliating. I was almost at my wit's end when I reached out to my friend, Chioma. She wasn't as pretty as me, but men practically lined up for her. It was like she was never out of business. I envied her lifestyle, the gifts, the money, the attention. One day, I broke down and asked her, "How do you do it? What's your secret?" She smiled knowingly and told me about Kayamata. She said it was a waist bead, an ancient charm that could make any man desire you. And if I wanted, she could take me to the woman who made it for her. The very next day, Choma took me to the woman who had changed her life. The place wasn't what I expected. Deep in the outskirts of town, there was a small dingy hut. Inside, the woman sat on a wooden stool surrounded by charms, powders, and oils. She looked at me carefully, her eyes piercing through my soul, as if she already knew my story. She didn't speak much, but when she did, her voice was filled with mystery. She handed me a bottle of oil and a small jar of powder. "Use this," she said simply. "Rub the oil on your body and dust the powder on your face before you go out." It all seemed too easy, but desperate times called for desperate measures. I thanked her, paid her fee, and left. As soon as I started using the Kayamata, it was like the universe had flipped a switch. Suddenly, men couldn't get enough of me. My phone ran non-stop with clients. Some nights, I didn't even have to sleep with them. They would just hand me money, big money. In just 3 weeks, I was able to buy my first car. The money rolled in so fast, I could barely keep up. I felt on top of the world. But strange things began to happen. One night, as I was getting ready for a client, I stood in front of the mirror to admire myself, but instead of seeing my reflection, I saw a strange dark figure staring back at me. It wasn't me. My beauty, my image was gone. Terrified, I stepped back from the mirror and called Chioma. She told me to stay calm and promised we'll go back to the Kayamata woman. When we returned, the woman wasn't surprised. "Someone has stolen your star," she said coldly. I didn't even understand what that meant, but she explained that my lack of protection had left me vulnerable to spiritual theft. My energy, my destiny had been taken by someone else. To fix this, she performed rituals and gave me a waist bead, an ancient Kayamata charm that was supposed to give me back my power and more. Now, she told me, with this bead, you will not only attract clients, but you will take their wealth. Any man who sleeps with you will lose his fortune, and it will become yours. But beware, she warned. If you meet a man with the same waist bead, it will turn black and you must not go home with him. At first, I didn't care about the consequences. The money kept pouring in and my life felt like a dream. But dreams can quickly turn into nightmares. I started feeling strange, a heaviness in my chest, an unshakable feeling of dread. Then, the coughing started. At first, it was just mild, but soon it became violent. I coughed blood almost every day. Choma and I returned to the woman, begging for answers. This time, her instructions were chilling: to keep the Kayamata powers. She said, "You must sleep in a graveyard every weekend." My heart dropped. Sleep in a graveyard? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Despite my fear, I went along with it for a while. Every weekend, Chioma and I would sneak into an old cemetery, laying under the stars, our hearts pounding with fear. But it wasn't enough to stop the nightmares or the guilt. I couldn't face the mirror anymore. The sight of that strange being haunted me. Finally, I had enough. I began visiting churches, hoping that someone, anyone, could break this curse. But nothing worked. I was stuck, trapped in a world of darkness and spiritual torment. And now, with the Kayamata tightening its grip on my soul, I feel like I'm slowly dying, and I don't know how much longer I can hold on. Please, if you have any advice for me, kindly leave it in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.